Et bonjour, love lovers. Here we are again, about to get into an interesting synastry, between Miss Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. I mean, guys, they make a beautiful couple, don't they? They're just so beautiful together. So of course we are interested to see how's the dynamics in their relationship. And of course, they're a family now with two beautiful children, two beautiful sons, which is another thing that I want to touch on as to why they keep having boys instead of a girl. We're gonna look at that as well, because when I was doing the analysis, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, now I understand why they keep having boys. It's because of this certain aspect in their charts. So let's get into it. Let's go. Rihanna is a singer that has turned into this mega huge businesswoman, right, with a net worth of over $1.4 billion. I mean, like, she is a powerhouse. She is like just wow, right? And she, of course, really invests in her businesses, because she's always advertising her Fenty products, always advertising her the collaboration with Puma as well. Like, she's not just like a businesswoman that is attaching her name onto a product. She's also the face, and she makes sure that she actually wears the things that she's selling. And even her man, I saw another picture with ASAP Rocky rocking one of the Puma things, because now they support each other. Like, they really support each other in their business ventures. On the other hand, we know ASAP Rocky because he's a rapper, right? Like a hip-hop star. And now he's also recently started joining forces with Rihanna by releasing his own product. I think it's a lip balm under the Fenty Powerhouse, right? So these guys, they are born in the same year, which always makes things better. Like, when people are born in the same age group, or maybe when it's I think it just helps with the traditions and understanding each other in terms of the Saturnian energy, right? So they both born in 1988, but let's start with Rihanna. She was born in 1988 in Barbados in February the 20th, right? And we do have her time, which is documented. She was born in the morning, right, at 8:50 in the morning, making her a Pisces ascendant, all right? And now when it comes to ASAP Rocky, born in 1988 as well, in October the 3rd. However, for ASAP Rocky, we don't have his time documented anywhere online. Therefore, I was forced to recalculate his time using, as well, astrological methods and statistics as well, right? So I recalculated his time, and I got his time, and I got his time. I just want to say something. When I calculate from scratch, I literally use the events in somebody's life, and also the Mahadashas, and try to get as close as I can to the birth time. And okay, I have practiced this. I know that I'm confident in this method because I calculated my own birth time, because nobody knew about my own birth time. So I had to calculate it, and then after I did that, I sent it to professional astrologers in India, my details, and they actually confirmed that the time that I calculated was in fact correct. So I am confident in my method. And now let's get into the juicy details. And the very first thing that we see with this synastry, which is cliche really, because I mean this is an aspect that is needed in all relationships. You know, when I say all relationships, I mean relationships that really spark, you know, that light, you know, that we need in relationships. Her Venus is conjunct with his Mars. You know, women are from Venus, Mars, men are from Mars. So they have that conjunction, which is really helpful, guys, in a romantic situation, because with this aspect, it means that the woman gets to be the woman in the relationship, whereas the man gets to be the man, you know, with that masculinity and all of that. So it does help balance the dynamics, and of course it sparks, you know, that fire that is needed, because we must remember that in fact Mars and Venus are not necessarily friends in terms of planetary friendships, right? So because of that fire thing, like man versus woman, feminine energy versus masculine energy, you get the good dynamic that you want in a relationship, right? And so seeing that there, which is beautiful, we also have a double whammy here. Yeah, because her Venus is opposite his sun, while her sun is opposite his Venus, you know. So it's just like, okay, simple, nice stuff. Now what's happening here with this opposition, right? This is an opposition that would make themselves kind of like disagree in terms of you know, how to be loved, how to be shown affection. So it's like one person's ego is feeling like, I like to be flattered like this, I like to be loved like this, but then the other person is like, oh no, I'm offering this is how I want to love you, and stuff like that. So that's the opposition that's happening. But because this is Venus and Sun, right? I don't know about their relationship like intimately, and I didn't even like do research before this, because I don't like to do research about the people's relationships before I do the analysis, because then it clouds my judgment, and I don't want my judgment to be clouded. I just want to see what I see from the synastry and run with that. And maybe then after I've uploaded the video, I could go back to verify what the information I see, you know, is happening. But anyway, from what I see from their synastry is that it is highly possible that they had started this relationship, you know, at some point and broken up. I see many breaks, like it's like they together and they're not together anymore. They together and then they're not together anymore. And maybe this could have happened in the past, you know, before the children, of course, and before, you know, they grew up into their 30s, maybe in their 20s, they did this thing of, we're together, we're not together, we're together, we're not together, we're together, we're not together, because of this opposition I see between Venus and Sun. which is obviously interchangeably because they both have the same oppositions, right? Now, what we also see, my goodness, is that, in fact, my gosh, his sun, right? His sun is also opposite her ascendant. Not only her Venus, because her Venus is on her ascendant, right? Because, that's why she's beautiful. Her Venus is actually exalted in Pisces, my goodness, on her ascendant. She's got Venus, she's got Moon beautifying her even more. And then she's got Rahu on her ascendant, making her beauty be a bit exotic, right? That's why she's got the exotic look. Like her beauty is exotic, is like so different and, attractive in a wowing way, like not like every other girl that you see, they all look the same. Her beauty is like different because of the Rahu also on her ascendant, right? Now he's got his sun looking at all of this conjunction on her ascendant, meaning that because of his sun in her descendant, which is her 7th house, right, he's able now to shine more light towards her, right? Because that's what the sun does. The sun has got that a light that illuminates everything around it. So he is there, his sun is there in her house of partnerships, right? So immediately there's no way she could have not seen him. There's no way she could have not noticed him. How could she not? With his sun shining opposite her, saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. But also this sun, guys, makes other people see him as a good partner for her, right? As a good partner for her. So that's what's happening here. And we must remember that now sun in Virgo is going to start to act like, a father figure who is very critical. So you might find that maybe sometimes he himself, as her partner, is being criticized by some people around them or even the public. Maybe they'll be like, saying stuff, about him being her partner. Do you get what I mean? But at the same time, this energy could also come from himself. He could be like acting like a father figure to her in terms of how maybe he could be critical of some of the things that she does, right? So that's what we're saying here. And another interesting thing, of course, is that now when it comes to her ascendant, remember I told you her ascendant is like, wow, filled with like 3 planets, Venus, Moon, and Rahu, right? Now comes in his Mars joining the party, on her ascendant, meaning that it's highly like, guys, as I said, I didn't read the blogs or check if this is true. I'm just saying what I see from the Synastry. So with this Mars here, it is highly possible that sometimes or at times there could have been like outbursts in between them, like whereby their argument could be like tug and pull, push and shove type of a thing because of his Mars on her ascendant, right? But of course, because this is all happening in our Pisces ascendant, it's happening in isolation, and it's happening in isolation basically, because Pisces is all about that, And at the same time, having this Mars on her body could also mean possibly that he is so passionate physically with her, like when he's like making love to her, it's all like passion and assertive, like masculine and all of that on her, right? That's what it could also possibly mean. Now, the interesting matter here is that now when it comes to the general dynamics in the relationship, which are not always visible, we must get into that. Let's go. However, also before I move on into the stuff that is not always visible, let me just say, because of his sun in her 7th house, in her house of partnerships, marriage, and agreements, right? It is also highly possible that on top of being criticized by other people, he's also not respected as her man. He's also not respected, not by her, but by other people. Okay, so other people might undermine him as a good man for her, as a king that he is, because this is sun, right? But because the sun has gone into the 7th house, which is not a comfortable place for sun to be in, therefore it makes other people not see his royalty, not see his power as the sun, as the authority, right? So it means that there are definitely people, fans, it could be the public, it could be business partners who don't respect ASAP Rocky as her chosen spouse, as her suitable spouse. So this also is telling us that, okay? Now, he has his moon conjunct her 4th house. 4th house, guys, is all about home, is all about what the moon represents, is about home, is about comfort, conveniences, is about mothering, or nurturing. And now he has the moon, which is representing the 4th house, in her 4th house, meaning that now ASAP Rocky, we're seeing that he is providing a warm, kind, caring, nurturing role in Rihanna's life. Okay, ASAP Rocky is the safe place that is there for her, like like a mother, basically, because that's his moon, right? So like a mother, what a mother gives you. So that's what ASAP Rocky is giving to her. And of course they were destined then to have family, because moon represents family, represents mom, represents love, care, nurturing, and it's right at the home. So meaning that when ASAP Rocky is around Rihanna feels like I'm at home. Okay, this is what Rihanna feels. Rihanna feels like I'm at home. Rihanna feels like I can, cry onto the shoulders of ASAP Rocky. I can be sick, and he's going to make soup for me. He's going to take care of me like my mom would, right? Because that's what's happening. But also at the same time, it also means that there are motherly figures that are coming also from his life, that have now offered that motherly love to Rihanna, right? So this is a very comforting thing. Like, this is a very comforting aspect that we're seeing here. But also at the same time, because now his moon is in Gemini, right? His moon is in Gemini. It means that even though he's able to be here for Rihanna, to offer Rihanna, comfort, care, and all of that. But at the same time, it could feel like it's not emotionally it could feel like he's not emotionally involved. It could feel like he's like just mentally involved or physically involved, but never like deeply emotioned about it, because of Moon in Gemini doesn't know how to delve into, you know, the feelings as Moon in Cancer would, right? So this Moon would be like a friend to Rihanna, more than like an emotional attachment. It would be like a friendly attachment, like I'm here for you, like a mom, but a mom who's a friend, you know, type of a vibe, right? So that's what we're getting here. So it's also comforting, because I mean, who doesn't want, you know, to be friends with their spouse, right? So it's very good. At the same time, we are seeing that when they are together in the comfort of their home, they talk a lot. Like they literally talk a lot. Like they, you know how some couples talk just like about the basic stuff, like I went to work, I did this, I did that. But for them, they talk deeply. They connect in communication. They share a lot of information together. And at the same time, we are seeing that because of Rihanna's Mercury, Rihanna is also very businessy all the time around the home. Like Rihanna is thinking, you know, maybe we need to do this for Fenty, we need to do that for Fenty. So we can see that Rihanna's talk, Rihanna's intelligence, right, is all about business. It's all about business. And for him, it's all about nurturing and, you know, care. And at the same time, these guys, they are friends. They are best friends to each other. That is for sure. And you could see that mostly only within their home. It is not something that the public can generally see. No, this is within the home, something most of us don't know about, right? But obviously I'm looking at the synastry, so I can get to see the possible dynamics happening now. But now what we are saying is that because of this relationship, right, or ever since they started dating, there is a high possibility that it might, at some point, this relationship, or even at the beginning, it might have started as a secret affair, right? And of course, I mean, we don't know everything that happens in these beautiful, powerful people, right? In their lives, we don't know. But from the synastry here, we can see that at some point they wanted to hide their relationship, or it was hidden, or they could have been together while maybe they were also, you know, dating other people or something like that. But there was a point in this relationship where it was only between them and nobody else's business, right? We are also seeing that, you know, there's a lot of there is a lot of communication that they are engaged in, which they like to keep private. It's like there's certain things that they won't even tell their friends about, and they just like to keep it, you know, in between themselves, you know, regarding whatever. And maybe, you know, a few people from their families, they like to do that. There's some sort of vibe happening there, okay? And we can see, which I also don't know if this is true, but we can see that due to this synastry, they wanted, or maybe they have bought a home in a foreign country to ASAP, right? So maybe they have bought a home in Barbados, right? Ever since they got together. That's possible because this is highly highlighted here. And that would be a foreign home to ASAP more than to Rihanna, right? It would be ASAP saying that I have a home in a foreign country. So possibly then they have a home in Barbados. I don't know. I didn't do research online. I'm just saying what I see is being told by the Synastry. Fine. Okay. We are also seeing that. Okay, I just want to go to the to the part that I talked about earlier, which is like very fun to see as to why they keep having boys, right? Why do they keep having boys and not a girl on side? Now, as we know that, sun, the planet, can also represent suns, right? As well as Ketu can also represent suns, right? And we know from biology, that it is the man's DNA or the man's, body makeup that chooses the sex or the gender of the child, right? And we can see here that Rihanna's son is actually influencing or aspecting ASAP Rocky's children house, right? And at the same time, he's got his own Ketu aspecting to the same house of children. So of course you've got that those planets which represent sons in our families, aspecting his house of, again, children. So it is therefore not really a surprising matter that he keeps making sons with her, right? At the same time, we must remember, keep in mind, I said that his Venus is conjunct Ketu. Venus is the sperm in a man's body. Venus represents sperm. Therefore, if Venus sperm is with Ketu, right, it also means that it is influencing the decision more towards sons, towards having sons, right? However, again, at the same time, Rihanna has Ketu also influencing her ascendant, the body where the baby is being made on the body, right? So this is again not surprising why they keep having sons. There's a lot of male energy when it comes to children in terms of their synastry, right? Because he also has his Venus in her 6th house, right? By the way, his Venus is conjunct Ketu, meaning that he loves in a way that it's like, in a way that is not discriminatory, right? So when he's got this Venus and conjunct Ketu in his chart, it means that he can see Rihanna as beautiful. But even if Rihanna was not beautiful, he would still love her. Do you get what I mean? So that's what it means when Venus is with Ketu. Because remember, guys, Ketu does not have the head, right? So as according to Kapil, because this information is from Kapil, when Venus is with Ketu, then the person is all about just the feeling instead of the seeing of the beauty. They just feel the good vibe with the person and they date them. So it means that ASAP Rocky could have gone out with anyone that he feels good with, right? It's not about really about the looks and everything. But luckily, of course, Rihanna is gorgeous, right? So now we're having this in her 6th house. He's Venus in her 6th house, meaning that ASAP Rocky is really like a server to her. Like, he's not in a bad way, guys, like somebody who, like a lover that serves you, like a lover that will, like, if your feet are hurting, he's just kneeling down and washing your feet and rubbing her feet. So this is how he's loving on her. He's serving her, right? He's like ready to do anything for her. He's literally ready to serve her head and toe because of his Venus in the house of service. In the house of service, right? But because of this Venus, right, guys, it also requires that Rihanna serves either him or other people. Okay, due to this synastry, Rihanna is also required to serve him or to serve other people, which is not really a big deal for Rihanna, because we know that Rihanna really loves serving people, you know, disadvantaged people, ignored people. Rihanna, you know, is not afraid to protest, is not afraid to voice out, you know, her discontent, her unhappiness, right? When it comes to you know, social things, when it comes to social things that are happening, Rihanna is not afraid to say, this is wrong, I don't support this, this is not good, domestic violence is not good, I don't support it, black people being killed in America, I don't support it, young girls not having education, I don't support it. Like, she's not afraid to voice her opinion and to support social justice. Okay, why is that, since we're on the subject, right? Why is that? It's because her sun is in Aquarius. Yes, her sun is in Aquarius, and because her sun is in Aquarius, Aquarius is a social justice protester. And Aquarius is the person who's going to go out there, who's going to mobilize the community into changing for the better. So of course her sun is in Aquarius, so of course she's serving other people. Of course she's going to voice her grievances. Is it grievances? Yeah, her grievances out. She's not afraid to do that. So now with Venus coming from her partner ASAP, it even makes it more urgent for her to serve other people, for her to be of service, right? As she is also being served by ASAP Rocky in this relationship. That's what we're seeing, right? Now what we also see is that due to this synastry, due to this relationship, ASAP Rocky's businesses, or the ability to be an entrepreneur, to have businesses, has grown enormously. Due to Rihanna's chart making that influence on his chart, right? And we also see that also her Jupiter, because remember Jupiter is expansion, her Jupiter is also aspecting his entrepreneurial spirit, his entrepreneurial and business adventures, and therefore thanks to Rihanna's Jupiter and thanks to Rihanna's chart, he himself is now able to make huge business deals, huge entrepreneurial efforts, huge negotiations and contracts. That's what we see he's gaining here. And at the same time, we are seeing that, because obviously of this Ketu conjunct Sun in Rihanna's 7th house, right? Sometimes there are fatherly figures that they also would separate with, okay? Or they would have separated with because of this relationship. Maybe some people, they just cut them off, or maybe there's a gap. There's no meeting of the minds with these fatherly figures, all right, because of that Ketu Sun conjunct the Sun coming from his chart, right? So that's what we're seeing. And we're also seeing that due to this synastry that they have, it's like Rihanna's working ability has also, grown enormously. Like she's felt like now she's got more responsibilities, so she has to work even more. She has to work even harder now, and because of he's certain, obviously joining her certain in the house of work, in the house of profession and career and all of that, right? And now the interesting part that we see, okay, another interesting part that we see is that sometimes, when they are together at home, as I said, they talk about business and all of that, but sometimes, they could also be dreaming, sharing their dreams, like, I would like to do this, I would like to do that, I would like to achieve this, I would like to achieve that. That we're seeing here is also very visible, right? And at the same time, we are seeing that the children that they have would increase the professional life, or the ability for ASAP Rocky to have professional opportunities, right? So if it's not happened, it's still gonna happen. We're going to see it because that's in the chart, right? So that's what we're saying. Otherwise, guys, and the last part just the last part that we're seeing is that one of them had to transform or had to change either maybe their mindset, towards a relationship, towards what a relationship should mean, or how a family life should be. But then we're seeing that one of them had to rethink or revise and have another idea of what this relationship would be. So that we see, and that transformation would have actually been required mostly from ASAP Rocky. So that's what we're saying here, right? Other than that, guys, this is one of those couples that have a normal relationship like anybody else, support each other, increasing each other's opportunities, each other's work. And at the same time, we're also seeing that Rihanna has also been able to also express herself more and communicate more, and also chase entrepreneurial efforts more due to his Jupiter as well aspecting that house. So guys, I will say thanks now, and I'll chat to you soon, alright? A bientôt!